Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey, and it's Wednesday night, time for a Facebook Live. So we'll just chat for a minute before we get started and see who shows up. And I don't know if I have any news. It's just Wednesday. It's one of those late in the day. I'm trying to get things together, and we'll see. So we'll chat for a minute here. I wanted to remind you that I have a special going on. If you place an order for $50 or more, I will send you this stamp set and the kit, a kit to make 4 cards. So it'll be a brand new stamp set, not used. And this one has lots of sentiments, birthdays, sympathy, just a little hello, all kinds of things. So if you place an order with me, then I will pop that in the mail to you and you'll get that for free. And that is good through, I think, September 5th, or until I run out. I only have 5 left, so you don't want to miss out if you want that. So when we did the harvest class, for people that paid for the rustic harvest class, I tried a new card layout, so I thought I would use that tonight, but not with rustic harvest, but a different, with this stamp set. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you how this layout will work for lots of different stamp sets. Hi Jamie, thanks for joining me tonight. I see there's some other people here, so leave me a thumbs up or a message and let me know you're watching. So we're going to use Nature's Harvest, and it's got some really pretty images and some sentiments, and fall's coming, so that works good for us, doesn't it? So we're going to stamp. I have picked this piece of paper up several times, and I actually think it's a piece of the backing from when we buy DSP. So let me get a different piece of paper. I don't know, I guess I'm not paying attention. Because I pick it up and think, gosh, that's pretty thick, isn't it? So we're going to use this piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp the cone flowers, corn flowers. I'm not real sure what those are. We'll just call them fall wildflowers. Better turn that this way. I'm going to give you some hints on using your blends. This image does not lend itself a lot to blending, but a little bit. So I think we can talk about how I chose to color those baskets the way I did that I showed you. I'm going to stamp these bottom 2 leaves on a piece of scrap while I've got this out, and I only need those 2. So I think that'll do it for our memento. Now if you're going to use blends, or if you're going to watercolor, you'll want to use memento ink, because I don't think that's going to show, but let me wipe my fingers off, because water-based inks will bleed, but the memento will not. So that works okay. I'm rubbing the ink on my pants here. I do have on black pants today, so that's okay. So we're going to make these kind of like a daisy cone flower looking blossoms. We're going to use Mango Melody and So Saffron. So I'm going to start with the dark first. and this is where I'm going to talk to you about it. Where this meets the seed pod, it's going to be darker because there'll be some shadows there. So you're going to put the darker Mango Melody right up close to that seed pod. Now you might put just a little here on the sides where it's kind of in the dark, but not a whole lot. You just want it mostly up close to the seed pod part. And we'll just do the same here, just darken it towards this. And we can always come back and add more if we want to. It's hard to take color away, so you want to be careful when you're coloring. We do have that remover or clear, but it tends to kind of smear and not be great. Now we'll use the, oh, that's Daffodil. Well, the light Mango Melody, and we'll go over that again and bring some color down. So that'll darken it a little bit more, but then we'll bring some of our lighter color down. You always want to try to think about where the shadows would be, or where it would be darker in real life. And now we'll take the So Saffron and blend that in. And that will give us the lighter highlights towards the bottom. It'll also drag some of that color with it. I think we're going to have to add a little more darkness. If we were going to cut this out with the die cut, you'd probably be a little messier, but we're not going to do that. Now, I definitely think we can use some of the darker again. We'll use the fine tip. But I'm liking the way it looks so far, so we'll just add a little more darkness. It's fun to, you know, if you really enjoy coloring, you need to practice this, because you'll be much happier with your results the more you practice. It's taken me quite a while to get to where I'm usually pretty happy with what I've done. Now I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. I'm going to start with the dark. Now think about this. Where this leaf is behind that one, it will be darker right around there and right around there. It's also going to be darker where it joins the stem. And this, I think, will be darker on the top side there, and then a little bit darker here. This will be darker where it joins the stem. We're going to make it be a little bit darker on this side because the stem is casting a shadow. And here we'll put a little bit of darkness there. That's going to be a little darker here where it's underneath the blossom. Then we'll use the light Granny Apple Green. You could even use Pear Pizzazz if you wanted an earthier green. And we'll just drag that color down. See, the sun's going to be shining on these stems, so they're going to be a little lighter. This will give it a little more realistic look. I hope. Oh, I forgot this one here. I'll have to come back and do it. We'll go ahead and color this light, and we'll add a dark in a minute. Now we stamped these here. We're going to fussy cut them to give a little three-dimension look to our card when it's finished. A little bit of a layered look. And can color a little bit there. So now I need to fix this one that I missed earlier. We'll blend that darker in. Now see, that just gives it a little more realistic shading look with your colors. Now we need to do our little seeds, and I'm going to do light soft suede, just some polka dots up here to give it a little bit of darkness. Polka dots, I don't know if those are polka dots or not. And down here. And then we're going to use the ivory to kind of blend that in. I didn't want it too dark. The black ink is already there, and it's going to help blend that brown in. You could practice. You could, now that we have all those flesh skin tone ones and the browns, there's so many choices of making these look a little better. Now, I'm sorry I got that ink on my fingers, but that's okay. Now we're going to use one of these tailored tags, and instead of cutting it this way, we're going to cut it upside down. So we're going to cut, and we want as much white there as we can get without my fingerprint being there. I think that's about right. We'll try to get those flowers in there. And we'll run this through the cut and emboss machine. Now, because you can see this on the back, I'm going to cut another one, just a white one, to layer it so that you can't see the ink on the back. When you're using blends, they will bleed through. And usually you're going to layer them on your card so nobody will know. So now we have just the plain one, and we'll put those two together. But we'll let the pretty stitching be on the back side. Oh, thank you. I can't see comments tonight for some reason. I could see one or two, and then that's it. It's kind of stopped on me. And we want to layer these up the best we can. This out of the way. Now we've got an upside down tag, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Now I have a crushed curry card base. It's 5.5 by 6.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fold that up. We have a piece of Love Yellow and Night of Navy together. So that's what I'm going to layer those. But I want to do my stamping first. And this is because if I mess up, I don't want to waste a piece of paper. So this is going to kind of go right here in that area. So our sentiment needs to go here. And I chose the one from the set. It says a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others. And it's kind of a tricky one to line up for me. So I'm going to practice right here. And we'll see if I can't get that sort of straight. Don't ever expect I will be perfect. That looks pretty good. That's amazing, isn't it? So this one doesn't, it has this nice coloring with it, but not so much stamping. So now we'll adhere this on here. This is going to be a fairly quick card. Oh look, that one's up on there. That was one I had already stamped crooked on. But I don't think it's going to show through, so we'll see. Because it's on navy, it's going to be okay. I was looking for a crushed curry DSP, but I didn't want it real flowery or anything. This is from the Teacup Party. And I think that's a pretty, kind of, needs a little haircut though, which is good. I think this should be 5 1/4, and I think it's a little long. It sure looked like it, so we'll trim that off and see. We'll see what's going on here. Maybe I trimmed the blue one wrong. No, it's the yellow. We're going to trim that down just a little bit more. put this right where we can get to it because we're going to use it in a minute. So we're going to put this, yeah, there, that matches. I don't know what was going on there. This is just a fun, it's a little different fold. It's not hard, it's not fancy. I can't call it a fancy fold. It's just a nice different fold. And then this will go on that 2-inch, 2¼ inch area. It's nice to have the Tombow give us that grace of moving our paper around. Now we're going to put our tag on here, but I need to score it so that it will have a nice crease. So we'll use our trimmer here, and what is that? A little more than 1/4. I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm really giving it a nice crease because it's 2 layers of cardstock. And we'll use our bone folder, not my dirty fingers. We'll go ahead and put the adhesive on this. Now you could use a piece of tear tape. I'm going to use Tombow, and I'll show you how I'm going to make that work for me. I'm not going to let it glue down just yet. So I'm going to put this Tombow on here a good bit. It's going to be behind there, and so nobody will know it's there. And we're going to put this clothespin on it while it's drying. Now see that hole? That drives me crazy. So that's why we have these extra leaves, as we're going to cover them up. Plus it makes the card look kind of cool. Now if that little hole doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. You could put a piece of ribbon or a tassel on it, but I liked the thought of having the leaves 3D. And I suppose I could have cut these out with the die cut, but I don't know about cutting partial leaves. And this isn't that hard of a fussy cut either. I'm sorry I can't see comments tonight. Must be a Facebook issue. There's always issues, aren't there? But I will come back and read your comments in a little while. All right, now we want these to stand up, so we're going to use some scraps of the borders of our dimensionals. That'll give us a nice little skinny piece to hold our leaves up, raise our leaves up. It might be kind of fun to put some bling on here too. Do we have Night of Navy? Ooh, we have Starry Sky, and I think that would be perfect. So I'll go grab that in just a second. That was just about right. I'll snip that off a tiny bit there. Doesn't that look cool to have that raised up? And it's covering up most of that. I need to put another piece of adhesive there. It's covering up most of the hole. I don't really think anybody's going to worry about that hole but me. You never know. I think most of the time people are just happy to get a card in the mail. And now I'll snip that off. That can still dry for just a minute while I go get the Starry Sky. I think we have Starry Sky. We do. Right here, the matte decorative dots. So let's see. We'll get rid of that clothespin. Maybe right here. Let's see where we should put them. One and a little one. And then let's put another little one over here. No, I don't know. I think we'll just leave that like it is. I just think those two is all we need. So that's a pretty simple card. You flip it up and then you can write your message down here. So this is, in case you've forgotten, 5.5 by 6.5, scored at 4 1/4. That makes this, should be 2 1/4, I think. So then you can just do your measurements for your paper down. This is regular inside layers that we're used to having. I love having blue and yellow, and then the fall colors. I love it. So that's a pretty quick card for us tonight. Thanks for joining me. I will see you Monday, if not sooner. Bye.